Oh yes, Nigeria Police Radio is here to give you so-called a wonderful morning to you once again. In case you're just tuning in, you're locked onto your super dial, Nigeria Police Radio 99.1 FM Abuja, your number one security station here in the nation's capital. It is the morning trip. My name is Grace Eniola, and of course, it's another segment we'll be having this morning. Nigeria joins the rest of the world to celebrate International Youth Day. Yes, it is a beautiful one, you know. It is a beautiful one to celebrate young minds, younger people, and of course we have with us here in the studio this morning my spokesperson. I'll call her my spokesperson because she will be doing most of the talking this morning. Fisayo Kayode. She's a senior manager at Sahel Consulting, Agriculture and Nutrition Limited. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you very much, Grace. I'm happy to be here.
All right, talking about the focus, youth around the world play a critical role in the social, political, and economic advancements of their countries, as well as in the development of social capital and trust through their involvement in reform projects, healthcare, education, economy, and the likes. However, many youths, particularly in Africa, face numerous challenges such as high unemployment, education inequality, poverty, and of course, substance abuse, among others. And recognizing the urgent need to address these challenges faced by the youth, the United National General Assembly in the year 1999 declared August 12th every year as International Youth Day to bring youth issues to the attention of the international community and also to celebrate the potential of youths as partners in today's global society. The 2024 theme is From Clicks to Progress, Youth Digital Pathways for Sustainable Development, which hinges on the key connection between digitalization and acceleration, the progress of the Sustainable Development Goals, that's the SDGs, which emphasize the crucial contributions of young people in the transformative process. So again, as Nigeria joins the rest of the world to celebrate the genuity and immeasurable contributions of the youth, the Sahel Consulting Agricultural and Nutrition Limited is committed to promoting African youth ingenuity and also diversify through training, mentoring, hands-on experience, and also scholarships across the continent. And to discuss this importance of the day, we play our guest from Sahel Consulting, Fisayo Kayode. Straight to the subject matter, could you please explain to us the significance of the 2024 theme to the youth empowerment in Africa?
Thank you so much. I would like to start by saying a happy International Youth Day to everyone listening and to me because I'm a youth. So we're talking about digital transformation and how we can leverage that to empower youths in Africa and particularly here in Nigeria, our own country. And if you look at the population statistics, over 70% of the national population is under 30 years old. And that means that we have over 150 million persons that can be categorized as youths or upcoming youths in the country. And it is at this point that it's important for us to identify the opportunity that the digital transformation and that platform brings for youth development, employment, and empowerment in the country. There's been fast adoption of the use of digital tools for learning, for entrepreneurship, for skills acquisition, and of course our youth shouldn't be left behind in having access to this opportunity to grow.
All right, I heard you mention 30. You know, we also have some persons who in their 50s, 60s still refer to themselves as youth. So when we say youth, are we referring to youth in mind or by age?
By age, please. I know people in their 50s, they like to associate themselves as youth. They are welcome, but we will just stick to the standard age range for youth according to the United Nations this morning. And for the purpose of this day, we are celebrating youth within 18 to 35 years old.
18 to 35
Yes.
years. So how does this theme address contemporary difficulties for young people?
Well, so you would see that particularly in Nigeria, there's this fast rising adoption of digital platforms by youth. A very relatable example is the use of social media. How our young people have turned to social media these days to have access to information, to create content and make a living out of it. And again, if we look at the population of these youth, over 150 million of them, they need jobs, they need to make a living, they need employment, and we cannot always rely on the civil service as well as the private organizations to absorb all of these people in the employment system. So that means that they have to create something for themselves, and leveraging technology has been a very good way for our young people to get engaged and create a niche for themselves and make a good living out of it. And I'm very happy to see how things are evolving and how people are beginning to see the opportunities that having access to these digital platforms can provide to them.
Again, the 2024 theme explores how Africa could leverage on the digital transition and also sustainable development goals, that's the SDGs, to address difficulties faced by its youth. How do we fare with the growing focus on internet connectivity among young digital generations and visionaries?
Yes, so at this point, it's been mostly positive. And now you can just sit in the comfort of your home and have access to information, take an online course, learn about different things, for example, graphics design, data analytics, cyber security, and all of those topics that you can make a good living out of or a good thing out of. And if we want to connect that to the sustainable development goals, we would see that there's zero hunger, no poverty, and so on. There's partnerships, which is a very big thing that you could leverage the digital world to do. You can partner with anyone wherever you are. You could also create job opportunities and youth empowerment through that, which is part of the SDGs. I'm going to use companies like Paystack, Flutterwave, Stripe as examples. You could see that these companies are being led by young people, and they've sort of revolutionized the space in a way that people are now beginning to turn into Africa to see the opportunities and to see young minds like that they could support. Even foreign investors are turning into Africa to find young people that they could support to increase their access to digital opportunities and create even more jobs for our people, which is very promising at this point.
So, as a senior manager at the Sahel Consulting Agriculture and Nutrition Limited, with your experience and let me say what you've seen so far, what level are we in terms of youth involvement in sustainable development?
So far, we've seen a lot of youth, making efforts, trying to hinge on the sustainable goals as well as youth development, but we still have a long way to go. We need to ensure that there's more information and sensitization and awareness spread across the country, especially in the rural environments where they have limited access to internet, to data, to information. They do not understand the importance of having access to these things, or even understanding how they can leverage these opportunities to contributing to achieving the sustainable development goals as far as Africa is concerned. And that is where we have a lot of work to do. We have to bridge that gap between the urban and rural communities and have information widespread and access to the use of digital technology or tools for those rural communities.
Okay, now let's talk about what you do at Sahel Consulting Agriculture and Nutrition Limited, how can you or how have you been helping African youngsters in achieving their dreams?
As the name of the company connotes, we focus on agriculture and nutrition, and we mainly do management consulting. And I'd like to start by saying that the majority of the staff at Sahel, we are young people, we are youth. So that is the first point. We are very big on youth empowerment.
Okay.
And because we work in the agri space, which doesn't really look attractive to an average youth in Nigeria, it became very important for us to start looking at how to increase their awareness around the opportunities that exist in the space. So people shouldn't see agriculture as just taking hoe and cutlass to farm. There's a lot of opportunities there. There's agri-technology. Now that we are talking about technology, there's a lot of things that can happen. And we decided to start engaging youth directly through training and capacity building. You know, we had to start doing a lot of work around identifying young talents and bringing them into the company to see beyond the science of agriculture and understand that there's the business of agriculture, there's the technology part of agriculture. We are now talking about climate change, and we have to, you know, come up with innovative solutions to address climate change, to be more smart when it comes to food production and as well as processing, safety, and so on. And that is where it becomes very big for us to engage youths at Sahel Consulting. We have a program called the Sahel Scholars Program. It started in 2017. And at the time where we started the Sahel Scholars Program, it was because we identified a gap. It was a challenge for us to employ young people into Sahel. And because we are big on having this young, dynamic team, we do want those fresh minds to join our team. But we weren't getting enough of them. And it was at that point that we decided to start proactively going into tertiary institutions to work with the schools and, you know, organize conferences, talk about agriculture, and make students understand that beyond what you learn in your class and beyond your understanding of agriculture as to farming or just food processing, there's a lot more opportunities that exist. You can be a data analyst and still be in the agriculture space. You can be a researcher and still be in the agriculture space. You can be a business consultant and still consult for agribusinesses, both the small, medium, and large companies. And that's a lot of opportunity, and there's lucrative jobs in there for them. So we started that scholars program. We go into these schools, have our conferences, and we also identified top students in their fourth year of school, and through that they are able to go through some levels of assessment. We pick scholars every year, and that's why we call it Sahel Scholars Program.
Okay.
And these scholars are opportune to come into our company to have internships for a couple of months and learn about the different aspects of agriculture and how we do things in the professional world beyond the four walls of their schools. And afterwards, they are also awarded some financial support for their final year in school. And they are also linked to a mentor or a coach right there at Sahel that they can continue to reach out to, talk to help them navigate through their career even after graduation. And when you perform really well during your internship program, you have the opportunity to even come back at Sahel, come back to Sahel to become a full staff. We have a couple of them that has, coming through that program, and they are really thriving well at the company.
I would say with all of these, enticing packages you have, I'm tempted to leave my work and, apply at the Sahel Consulting Limited.
Yeah, most welcome. Just make sure you love agriculture.
Okay, so away from that, with all of those tempting packages you have for them, how has the response been, especially from youth so far? Because when you mention agriculture, our youth seems not to be interested because they feel it doesn't fit into the corporate world.
Yes, so I would refer to as far back as 2017 when we started. You know, we had this conference, gathered students from agriculture in the room, as well as their lecturers to talk about the opportunities in the space. And, you know, they just came and sat to listen to one other conference like that. Not so enthusiastic about it, of course. But when they began to understand that this sounds different, and we always make sure that we have speakers to go talk to these students, and the speakers are mostly relatable people that could share their story and journey with them. And then it makes sense to them to see that, oh, there's actually something in this space beyond agric, beyond whatever I'm doing in school. And we began to see increased participation and enthusiasm from the students. So the following year, when we started organizing, you'd see that the students were the one even reaching out to say, oh, so what do we want to do this year? How can we support? Should we have a committee to plan things on ground? And from there, we started from UNN, and from there we expanded to other schools, OAU, ABU Zaria. We've touched Landmark and FUNAB, so many other schools that we've reached, I think about 7 schools. And last year we just decided to even broaden it further to make it an African-wide thing, where we have virtual conferences and students from all parts of the continent can join this program. And even from the lecturers too, we've seen dean of faculties now asking, why is this restricted to only the Faculty of Agriculture? Can we have people from nutrition, you know, people studying food and nutrition or something, joining? Can we have people from even agri-tech, from economics that are interested in agriculture, key into this program? And, you know, from there we see that there's been a lot of positive turnout, even from the youth, from the lecturers, and it's been good so far. And we are hoping to see even more people coming to ask that they want to join this force and see meaning in producing food, because food production is quite important. I know people think being a doctor and an engineer and lawyer is like the best profession out of this world, but everybody needs to eat, and someone has to produce the food, someone has to be in the space. And I think it's a very important sector to be in for anybody listening to this.
A friend of mine says we have a nation to feed, so we all need a duty. Talking about limitations now, do you diversify the various fields of agriculture, or you have your limitations at Sahel Consulting Agriculture?
Well, we do everything agriculture. Okay. Agri-technology, agri-information sharing. So there's, now we are leveraging AI, you know, to even forecast and share information. We do a lot around food fortification. That's nutrition, and there's a whole lot. There's genetics improvements, there's deep science, there's core science, there's core businesses. So we develop business strategies for agribusinesses, and even development organizations. They turn to us to you know, help them map out the opportunities, investment opportunities in the country, and we partner with even the government to review and develop policies that favors the sector. So those are the things that you look at beyond just let's plant maize and grow it. There's so many systemic issues that needs to be addressed. There's the legal aspect of agriculture. So all of these things are what we need people to open their minds and eyes to, and see that there's a whole ecosystem that has to make this sector work. To produce food is not just producing the food. There's so many other things. There's policies, there's technology, there's information, there's the legal aspect, and as I mentioned, and these are the things that we should look out for to diversify the job opportunities in the agri space.
All right, stay with us, Abuja. Let us quickly go on a short break now. When we come back, the conversation continues.
This is a story of Sergeant Peace and Sergeant Lawrence, 2 police officers who worked in the same station. This day, Lawrence was writing a statement for a suspect. Peace was not happy with it.
Sergeant Peace, What do you want from me? The suspect says he doesn't want to write.
Peace was trying to tell him that what he was doing was against the Nigeria Police Act 2020. The suspect must write the statement or a lawyer writes it for him. But Lawrence no agree at all. Nadeo, an argument broke out. Just then, the DPO steps in.
You know how long I've been a police officer? What is all this?
Shut up! What nonsense is this? Oh, it's business as usual. Sergeant Lawrence, share that statement immediately and you will face the music for this.
So, my police people, who would you rather be in this story?
Am I dreaming? This thing, if it happens...
If we all know and follow the Police Act 2020, if it happen.
All right, so welcome back, Abuja. And in case you're just joining us, I have with me here in the studio Fisayo Kayode, a senior manager at Sahel Consulting Agriculture and Nutrition Limited, who is having a conversation about International Youth Day. And I must confess, it has been a fantastic moment with her so far. So I would like you to tell us what Sahel Academics Meeting is all about.
Yes, so still on the Sahel Scholars Program.
Okay.
We have the upcoming conference on the 15th of August, just a few days away. And that's what the meeting is all about. And it's virtual, it's free, it's open to everyone interested to join. It's going to be happening 10 a.m. on Zoom. And to access the link to join, you have to register. Two ways to find the links to join is to go to our website, www.sahelconsult.com, or you go to our social media handles at Sahel Consulting, simply. When you go to at Sahel Consulting, you can look out for the links to register for this beautiful event. There's going to be a whole lot of speakers from across Africa. And they have vast experience in different aspects of agriculture, and they're going to be sharing their opportunities. And finally, we had thrown out a challenge to agric students who are going to be winning prizes of $500 for the first position, $300 and $100, and they are going to be unveiled that day.
Okay.
So we hope that everyone that participated in that challenge, sharing their videos on what they can use the money to do in agriculture, would be joining to listen up and see who goes on with the prizes. And the theme for this Scholars Conference is Nourishing Tomorrow, Youth-Driven Solutions for Sustainable Food Security. We hope that we have a lot of people joining with open minds to hear about the opportunities in agriculture and even connect with people online. To network and see how they can take things forward from there. One of the sustainable development goals is partnerships, right, for development, and it's important for people to partner. So that's a platform to connect and network with other stakeholders within the agri sector.
Okay, earlier you mentioned that you go as far as reaching out to students in schools to catch them young, especially if you know they have passion for agriculture. Let's take, for instance, I have the passion, but I've never been in the field before. Do you also have a space for me?
Yes, so if there is a passion and there's a good level of knowledge for you to catch up, of course, there's an opportunity to intern, learn on the job, and then grow from there. It even opens your mind to deciding what you want to do within the space and how you want to progress with the profession.
You mentioned knowledge. What if I have no knowledge about what is it and I want to?
So in that case, most of our projects that we currently implement would address that. So for example, we have a dairy development project and we have over 60,000 beneficiaries who are mostly farmers that are not literate but we've been able to create training and capacity building programs that at their level that is very easy for them to assimilate in local languages. And through most of these development projects that we implement, we are able to reach those set of people without the literal knowledge that we are talking about here.
Now, as we custom, as a youth, you know, a day like this is meant to call our attention to how we can maximize what we have in helping to sustain development goals. So, why should I care as a youth?
Well, as a youth, we should care because as Nigerians, we are over 200 million people.
Mm-hmm.
And you should care because you have to make a living for yourself. And that's where job opportunity comes in. That's where employability comes in. And for you to be employable, you have to be skillful and knowledgeable. And since we are talking about leveraging digital platforms, that's where you should look out for opportunities to learn and acquire skills online and, you know, gather information that helps you to understand the importance of, you know, keying into the different sustainable development goals. We are looking forward to creating an Africa with no poverty, zero hunger. And what that means is that we have to be economically stable, socially stable, a continent with very good security that people want to come into and thrive and do businesses. And to do businesses, you have to be able to do the business. So learn about your craft. As a young person, it's very important to really learn about your craft and, you know, learn mastery. And from there, you can propel yourself to the top.
And what will be your parting shot as we custom on the show?
Parting, happy International Youth Day again. And I will still emphasize on the importance of acquiring skills on different digital platforms. There's communications, there's social media marketing, there's digital storytelling, there's data analytics, there's cybersecurity, there's coding, app building, a lot of things that people can do without having to carry their CVs from one place to the other to look for jobs. The honest truth is that there's no job out there to cater for 150 million youths. So you have to create something for yourself. And learning all of this kind of skills would help you become a freelancer, even work for international clients and organizations from the comfort of your home remotely and earn money. And through that, you are empowering yourself, and over time you are able to empower even people around you. And I think that is what life is all about. You have the ability to be self-sufficient, empower yourself, and start empowering people, and that's how we can lift everybody up. And that's going to be my final note today.
All right, thank you, Abuja. I guess this is as much time will permit us to take on this show this morning. Happy International Youth Day to you once again. And as a youth this morning, you are recognized and also be reminded that you have all it takes to contribute positively to nations building, especially talking about sustainable development goal. All right.